just going to adjust here. Alrighty, so hi, we're live. Monday, Makeup Monday. We're gonna clean some brushes while people pop on, because that's what I do. And I'm just gonna use my 3. We're gonna keep it super simple today because I'm just gonna get messy today and I don't wanna waste good makeup on a messy day. I'm in my overalls to go clean a chicken house because I'm a chicken lady. But we're gonna talk about the event I had this weekend. It's so much fun. I was doing it on talking about it kind of on stories yesterday. And I used the word fun, I think, in 1 minute 4 or 5 times. It was a bit redundant, but that's okay. But I just need to tidy up some brushes. I use the same brushes all the time and I use my brush cleanser more than I use my soap. I actually gave my soap away because I never used it at my event. And it was so much fun. I think I'm gonna make it a summer regular. So June, July, August. I'm gonna do a summer event. I'm gonna do it again next month. All right, hi, hello, how are you? Amanda, Seint artist. We're gonna do our makeup because it's Monday and I've been making Makeup Monday a thing. I'm not sure how long I'll continue it. I use a palette 3. Oh my gosh, which layer is that on? If you're on the fence about the peach balm, just get it. It's limited edition. It's so good. It's a good stocking stuffer. If somebody doesn't like makeup and they just like chapstick, that's good. It's good for backpacks. It's good for back to school, for your teens, tweens. I put it in my girls' bag, and they were in kindergarten and 2nd grade last year, and I had it with them. Just the regular balm, not the peach, but I'm getting both of them the peach because it's really yummy smelling. It's their favorite. All right, so I'm gonna do my makeup. I'm a little bit limited because everything is still in their bags from the event. So I did a party kind of a thing, an event. I did makeup, introduced people to Seint, set things all up. It was so fun. I was meaning to do 1 face and I ended up doing 3. I learned some things I need to do. I need to get a different chair because using a restaurant chair just means I'm hunched over for a long time, and it's hard on the back, especially when you're in your 40s. I don't know what I'm gonna do if I keep going. So yeah, I am out of my Milk Hydro Grip. I have pumped that puppy down, and I've had this thing, I think it's $38 for this big dog. This thing will last you at least 2 years. I do my makeup multiple times a day, so I'm using it a lot, and it lasted me 1.5 years. So I'm gonna guess 2 years with something like that, because you just need a small amount. But while I'm waiting for mine to arrive, I'm just gonna use setting spray. I'm oily, so I'm gonna use Urban Decay De-Slick. If you have any questions about what I'm using, it's pretty much Seint makeup, but ask me about colors. I can swatch some things. I did get my palettes of colors back out. That's one thing I made sure to have. There we go. And yeah, so I'm gonna just prep my face with that, and then I'm gonna go over it with the fluffy end of this blush and bronzer brush. I'm gonna go into my Vanilla Dust. I keep 2, and I'm just gonna go over where I get oily with powder first, and this is just going to absorb what's come out. It sounds so gross, but what's absorbed out or oozed out since I woke up at 4:45 coughing this morning. I don't know what's going on, but when I lay down, I just start coughing, and it was a mess last night. So I got up so that my husband could get a little more shut-eye before he wakes up at his normal 5:30. All right, so let's do our color correcting. I can't decide if I want to do demi or a lip and cheek, so I'm going to let you guys decide. If somebody wants to tell me what you want to see, let me know. And I'm going to do my color correcting with the blend brush. This is my favorite addition to your collection brush. This is not a starter brush. That I will say, not a starter brush. And what is this color here? I think this is Walnut. I've been using Walnut, but I feel like it's a little light for me. I feel like I need to actually switch my main shade. I've been Sandy, but I have not been in the sun lately. So I'm gonna try to find Athens because that's such an amazing color, and it's so hard to find them because Look at all, these are all my leftover colors, the colors I don't use. So yeah, but while I waste your time here, goodness gracious, I have no idea where it is. So we're just gonna pull it out of my artist palette, and I'll just grab a new one. All right, it is Sugar Pants. Come on, Amanda, get it together. Bam, got it. Okay, sorry about that. All right. So let me know if you have questions. I can help. Ask me about colors and swatchings and whatever. So first things first is I am going to go in with my two favorites. These right here. I get more longevity out of this. I was using Hazel and it gives amazing coverage, but it is creamy, so I felt like it didn't last as long and throughout the day, and I like my makeup to stay nice all day. I would do it for an event, but I wouldn't do it for a full day of makeup. So I'm just gonna use Aspen on the small end, and I'm gonna use it just on this area where I have some redness. It doesn't seem as bad. It's gonna come in right here, but I'm not gonna apply it first here. So I just dust it. I put this on somebody with rosacea this weekend and it worked like magic. It's not as red today as it usually is. Maybe I don't need it. Definitely need it here. So I just smoosh it in after I've taken a little off the brush, and it just dulls it down because it's like a gray tone. Get it over these zits, you know, it's that time where I get zits. I'm gonna use Suede. I need a new one. This has gotten to the point where I don't melt it down. It would just cook it more than it would do anything else. Got an airplane going over my house. All right, we're gonna go in with the fluffy end, and I just swirl it around, especially when it's down to where it is. And I'm gonna start around my hyperpigmentation here, and I'm gonna smile and bring it to my apples. I kind of use it as an underpainting for contour, and I use it really lightly. I just want it to camouflage this and these little areas here. So I'm just gonna bring it farther down today, just because my redness today it's different every day, and I would rather get two $16 tins than a few $22 demis. I don't like to spend a ton of money on my makeup, and that's one of the things that it really wasn't the reason I switched makeup. I honestly liked the way I saw it sitting on other artists' skin, and the price point was just a bonus. I liked the way I saw somebody on Instagram once, and they were talking and on stories, and it was the end of their day and the light hit their face. And the texture of her face was different than mine with my traditional makeup. It didn't look dry. It didn't look flat and chalky. It just looked nice. And so then I was like, I'm gonna try it. And then when I saw the price, I was like, oh, sweet, that's nice. So I did it, and then I loved it. All right, that's all I'm gonna do. All right, good morning, Sherry. Okay, you tried the Milk Hydro, game changer for me. Yay! Show a swatch of Claire sometime. Yeah, I could do that right now. I like doing it now because I'll forget if I don't. So I keep all my eyeshadows together, so it's okay. This won't take forever. Claire looks like a different color on the website. I feel like it looks orange. I believe it looks orange. It is pink. This is a very, I would say, a true tone to it. All right, but it's cool toned. I would say it's a cool toned pink. And it's just so pretty. I love it. I recommend it to everybody. I like Claire Oak and Drift together because they're all very good on their own, but they're also great all together. It's like a Neapolitan. Yeah, it's so good. Maybe that's what I'll do today is those three, because every color match, that's what I suggest as a starter. But if you have a big eyeshadow palette, like a Tarte palette or a Naked palette, and you get so many colors, but you really only use 3 or 4 of them, we can take those colors and you can color match them so that you just have the 4 instead of all these colors you don't use. That was one of my biggest pet peeves, is those Naked palettes. Holy guacamole, they're expensive. But you're spending that much for really just 4 colors. And you have all these extra anyways. And then you buy a whole new Naked palette just to get those 4 colors again anyway. And you could just do this and just click, click, click the ones you use in here, and then switch out the ones once you've used them all. Anyway, all right. We're going to go in. These are the brushes I like. These are my ride or die brushes. I know other people probably want to see me use other brushes, but I got tutorials for that. But when I'm doing this, I'm keeping it super simple today. I'm going to go in with, you know, I'm going to do all the colors on my face, but I'm going to show you the way I recommend you do it. So where everybody swipes it on, it's not ideal because if you have large pores on your hairline, it's going to stick to them. I don't like that. And so, especially along the hairline, and it's just not my preferred method, but I'm going to do it anyway because I know people really love to see it, I guess. But the first thing you should do is you should take your main highlight and apply it first, especially if you have anything going on in this area. You want that little bit of extra coverage. So I'm going to go into Athens and I'm going to just dip this down here and I'm just going to balance my skin out. That's really all your main highlight is to do, is to balance it. And when I say balance it, it's supposed to give you some coverage, but it's also supposed to even out at the same time without being super cakey. And you don't need the whole thing all over your face. I have large pores in this area, so when you apply it, you don't want to accentuate it, so having a proper color match is what you want to do. And so I focus mine down here and then I bring it up to avoid texture, and then I'll tap it in here, bring it in right here. And that's how I like to do it without it. I'm getting hair out of my face. Look at that bad boy. But that's how I like to apply it so it's not super textury, especially over my hyperpigmentation. But I don't want to cake this up with coverage, so I'm going to leave this as it is. You can still see my scarring pulling through, and that's why I like to use Frenchie as a base for my blush, because that will pull through if I put something like Dahlia, pink grapefruit on, and I don't like that. It bothers me a lot. It's my biggest concern when I see people is this area right here. This is what I think everybody's looking at. But also be aware of this. I'm zoomed in. Duh. But nobody in your life is this close to your face. Nobody. So the only person who looks at your face this close is you. And so when you're picking yourself apart and you're this close to your face, understand you're the only one doing that. No one else is really critiquing your face the way you are. And so I understand everybody does it though. And that's why I like to zoom in and show how I do it. So tap it in. I like to think of my highlights as my family and friends, and it's kind of a thing I want to put together, but whatever. But I tap into my main highlight like it's my husband. I like him. I smush him, you know, like with care. And then I put it on, and it's my bestest, closest friend. This is the one you want to get to know the most. There's the self-matching collections where you can go in and self-match yourself. And it's good, but it takes out, there's two ways to do the self-matching collections, and I want to talk about them because I know it's something that's super popular. When you self-match, I don't think we need to stay this close to my face. There's one thing that happens. It's really hard to self-match. I tried doing it. I tried a Merit product, and I didn't and I color match people all the time, and I could not color match to the colors, and I got the wrong color. And it's still a nice product, but when you have somebody, I know this. That's why I don't share other makeups, is I know this makeup. I don't know other makeups. And so when you self-match, you do run the risk of colors not being quite right. And depending on the collection, if you get anything bigger than the basic, I don't even know what it's called. If you go to where you get 3 highlights, that's probably your best bet because you can use those 3 highlights to customize a color that works for you. You can do it that way. And if something doesn't quite match, talk to me and we will do a shade swap. You contact Seint, you say, hey, this shade doesn't quite work for me. I want to try this one, and they will shade swap with you. Or you can get a proper color match, but you still want that discount that the collections have. You still do that, but get a proper color match and then go find the collection that goes with the match I gave you and do it that way. That's what I would recommend if you're really wanting one of those collections where it takes all the work out, where you don't want to think about, I don't know what blush color I want. I don't know what eyeshadows I want. Go get a collection. It gives it all to you. It does take the customization out. It picks it for you. And the only colors you can shade swap are your main highlights. You can't shade swap the eyeshadows. So there is that factor too. And I just like to be really clear on that. This is bugging the crud out of me. Whatever. These are just so in the summer. such pains in my butt. All right, let's mark up our face because everybody wants to. I've been loving cedar, okay? So that's the color I'm using. Usually in the summer I like indigo. I'm just not getting the color I'm used to getting, but cedar is so pretty. I think it's a darker version of olive. That's what I would call it, but we're gonna go right there, and then we're gonna come in right here. I'm gonna tap it because I color corrected. So I'm gonna tap it, but I'm not gonna tap too far down. I don't like the marionette look. And then I'm gonna go right here. I had too much coffee and I'm all shaky. Right here, squaring off the tip, boom, 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 boom. We're gonna take whatever's left and go here and here, just to create some shadowing, grab a little more. We're gonna go in front of the earlobes and pull. Ooh, let's cover that puppy up. Okay. All right, now I'm gonna go into bronzer and I am going to use High Tide. I accidentally contoured with it. I put it where I put my contour in my palette. I look like an Oompa Loompa. I don't recommend it. All right. High Tide. It is, to me, people say that it's between Bella and Heat Waves, which is very, very dark. I think it's more between Tan Lines and Bella, but I'm going to put that right here, and then I'm going to go above, and I'm going to pull it down a little farther than my contour because it's bronzer. And I love my bronzer as part of my blush. So I'm pulling it down farther, but just above. That's it. I really don't like applying a lot to my temples because it's just not necessary. All right, next, brightening. But I like putting that base on. I think it makes things blend easier when you apply that main highlight right there. So now we're gonna go in and I'm using White Peach. Palette's just, I really liked it. I just felt like, I don't know, it didn't pop for me. I wanted it to. Anyway, but White Peach. And I'm gonna make a fan. So we're gonna go boop, boop, a fan. And then we're gonna come over, we're gonna pull that down with whatever's left and go right down the middle and then dee, dee, dee. All right, hit this beautiful little area, the high peaks, and then your chin. And then I'm gonna leave my under eyes because nobody's told me if I'm doing demi or lip and cheek. All right, we're gonna grab Frenchie and I'm going to go on the apples because remember, they drive me nuts. Boom, 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 boom. If there's, this is not my cheek color. Frenchie is not my blush color today. This is my coverage. Everything in here is foundational coverage. So if you want a color match, I just need a makeup free picture. And so for me, everything's foundational coverage. My bronzer, my contour, this blush, this is foundational coverage. I always say if you have breakouts, apply your makeup like you don't. Get your foundation on, put it in the areas. Like I covered what I needed to cover, but I didn't do full coverage to fully cover it because then when I do this, this, and this, I'm stacking on a lot of makeup, which is gonna create texture, especially over those pores. All right, we're gonna use the detail brush. This is a good blending brush, especially when you're working with dense contours. I kept mine lower than my hairline because I don't want the pores to collect the contour. That happens when you apply like this, okay? So what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna take this small end and I'm gonna tap across this brightening. And then I'm gonna pull up on this shadowing of this contour. And that's it, boom. It's really forgivable makeup. The warmth of your skin helps it blend out. It's forgivable. If you mess up, you can always build or you can blend down. And you never have to take an area completely off to start over. I used to have to do that all the time when I messed up and it was such a pet peeve. All right, I'm gonna tap out right here. I like highlighting the peaks. This is a really pretty area and I love it. I'm just gonna buff out that line so I don't look like I have a mustache that my kids like to point out at dinner. Really need to cancel family dinners on nights that they're gonna do that. But, but yeah, let's see, boom, boom, boom. All right, just tapping some brightening around. I like the contrast and I like doing it after. But this area is so nice. You can use your finger to tap it out if you want to. All right, we're gonna hit right here, getting this fan. And I like to blend this out first. And I just pull it over my brows and up. into the forehead. Whew. All right, and we're gonna do that. We're just pulling it up, and it creates, see that reflecting light I already have? This accents it, and that's all it's doing is accenting your color. It's foundation. It's doing more than one thing, and I like that. And it's cream, and with cream, you get that dewiness without adding shimmer. Most makeups, I feel like I need to keep adjusting this. I'm driving me nuts. But you put this on and you want that dewy finish, but most makeup you're having to set with powder, and you have to use shimmers to create that dewy effect, which is layering another powder, which is changing the consistency and changing the look of your makeup. Anyways, that's what I'm gonna say. But with creams, it's not like that. So I'm gonna take the big end of my detail brush, and I'm just going to lightly swirl this and bring it to the middle and bring it back down to my temple, and then I'm gonna flick it up. If you have blonde hair and it gets into your hair, this is a really good method. Swirl, swirl, swirl. Next, I'm going to go into that bronzer. Swirl, swirl, swirl. Tappy, tappy, tap. Then I'm gonna flip it back, and I'm gonna take that brightening, and I'm gonna pull it, and I'm gonna blend it all together. Okay? Swipey, swipey, swipe. I'm gonna flip it because I feel like there's a lot over here, and I'm just gonna pull, pull, pull. Boom. Forehead. Same thing over here. Getting that contour, blending in circles, flicking it up, getting that high tide, and I don't pull it in. I like to pull it out in towards that contour, into that temple, grabbing that small end, and we're just pulling that brightening out and over. And you have balance, you have, I wish I had my hair done, but it's not that kind of day. It's a chicken house day. And when I say it's a full chicken house day, like we're adding straw, we're changing out ground covering that's covered in poo-poo, like we're doing the things. So yeah. Anyways, we're gonna do the nose. I'm gonna tappy tap tap right here, and I'm gonna pull this up towards my brow. Let it follow that brow bone, natural shadowing. We're gonna tap it down. Do the same thing over here. We're gonna tap it, pull it up, tappy tap, tap it around, bring it together, and you're gonna let that brightening we put on work with it. Boom, boom, pulling it down from up here, and I need more. I like my bright to be bright. It's nice, and I like to do my finger, tap, 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 smush, smush, smush. There we go. Easy. If you have a bump, that's a really great way to do it. That's my opinion. I'm gonna blend here, otherwise I'll forget, and I also have somebody coming to my house. I'm surprised that I'm not having issues because I'm not using my internet because my husband cut and ripped off the internet wire on accident. We're getting ready to have our house painted, and this house had a bazillion TVs in it, so there's cords running all over the outside, and the last time it got painted, they just painted over them, and I was not happy. So when we're getting our house painted, I wasn't here last time it got painted, but I said, go rip all those cords out. Just don't rip any important ones out. Oops. I don't know what made him think the bright orange new looking cord was the right one, but it was, I guess. And then we lost internet. Anyways, okay, so we're gonna go over here and we're gonna push up into that contour on that cheekbone. I bring it up above my natural shadow because no matter how hard you try, it blends down. So you'll get it in that shadowy area. So no matter what, so bring it up, otherwise it's gonna be down on your lower face. And then I go into that bronzer, I'm gonna smile, and I'm gonna go into that Frenchie. I love this for fall. This is a very pretty color. Fall's just around the corner, okay? I was talking about this on Instagram too. I have a system for fall. I don't know if anybody's as crazy as I am because I've never run into anybody who loves Thanksgiving as much as I do. I flippin' love it. It's my favorite holiday. And for me, September's fall, y'all. It's fall, y'all. September 1st, it's fall. It could be 104 degrees, but it's fall. September is fall. It's really just a decor, not anything else. I'll get my pumpkin latte. I don't even like pumpkin lattes, so I still just stick with a soy chai. That's my favorite. Anyway, fall, y'all, September. October is fall colors, but boo, not fall. You say boo because it's Halloween. And then November is fall, but you're blessed and thankful. Got a system. I don't skip Thanksgiving. We host. We host big. Like I go nuts. Anyways, it's my favorite. It's my favorite. It's Christmas without the pressure. I am not good at giving gifts. I'm not good at receiving gifts. Like it makes me uncomfortable. So Thanksgiving is my jam. All right, look at that. See this, you could just be done and just go on if you just want it nice and natural. I am going to do my under eyes. I'm going to do one of each because nobody said anything. I'm going to show Demi and then I'm going to show Frenchie. So we'll grab Frenchie. I love Frenchie. I love Frenchie this much. And this is the new Nova. And I've been using this as a lip color. It's really pretty. All right, we're going to grab Frenchie. I'm just going to go boop. We're going to put a little, you can't even tell, but it's there. Yeah, oh, there we go. And we're going to push this and we're going to go up and out, up and out. You want this thin. And that's why I like the sweeping motion, and you don't have to push hard. Boom, boom, boom. Press it in. It's gonna change the color, boom, but it's not adding a bunch of texture, okay? Demi, you want the tiniest amount. It is ridiculous. I need to clean this off. I just use one of these guys and get that hair off. My goodness. Anyway, all right. I use 2 colors. Boom. Y01 and 03. So everybody's different. One color is not the same. I've got this side is not as dark as this side. Well, I guess I have Frenchie over there and that's probably why. But I get really dark here, and then it just gets kind of just, I call it dirty. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go in with Y01. We're going to tap that on. And you really just tap, tap. You want to see it just on the tip, and that's too much. It's pure pigment, and so a little goes a long way. These will last you years. You can buy it once, but it only does one thing. So I'm going to go over just that dark point and just this dark point. And we're going to let these work together. I'm going to pull that down. I'm going to get that dark area, and it cancels and brightens all at the same time. So that's Y01, I guess it wasn't too much. I just want a little extra kick right here. So they're going to do 2 things. So over here, it's just a little bit pink, but you don't see the darkness as much. Over here, it's canceled and brightened. Now I'm going to go into 03, and I'm going to use the fluffy end, and I'm just going to tap, tap, and put some on the tip. And I'm going to go into this lighter trough area, and I'm just going to sweep this over the dirty area. And it's just going to tidy things up. And a little goes a long way. Tap, tap, just a little dusting. Tappy, tap, tap. And this just cleans it up, okay? So if you have mature under eyes, I would recommend prepping with balm if you have a lot of texture. I'm kind of kicking myself right now for not doing that. It's a habit I'm trying to get into because I just learned it and I love it. And I'm kicking myself right now. I actually tapped into balm and Demi for somebody this weekend and used them together, and it was glorious. It looked really good. So you could do that too. All right, I'm going to go into my white peach here. I'm using the blend brush on the small end. This is my favorite under eye brush. It's similar to the end of the detail brush. It just is a bit fluffier, and so it's less dense, so it's going to pick up less product. I'm going to grab a little bit of white peach. Boom, boom, boom. I almost tapped it like it's powder. And I'm going to go here on the apple and then up the orbital, okay? And then we're going to go up into that inner corner here, grabbing as you need. I save this soft area for last, okay? And then we're just going to go into that soft area last. You want less is more, like all things. And we're going to tap that out. And that's the under eye, okay? All right, grabbing it. Again, hitting that. I smile so I can see right where the shine naturally hits, and that's where I start. And then I go right here. That was my elbow. All right. Hitting up here, going up into that inner corner. And then we're going to go under and over, okay? And then I'm going just over these marks that have been bugging me. But they are quite a bit. Nobody's as close to I don't let anybody close to this face like this. Except my husband when he gives me a little smoochy smooch, but he's never like checking out my makeup. Anyway, that's the difference. This is with the lip and cheek, and this is with Demi. It gives a bit of two different looks. I think you get a little more coverage using the Demi, but Frenchie is a great option. It's really, honestly, if you don't mind it, I would say go with Frenchie because you get, it's a little more bang for your buck. Your Frenchie is your under eye corrector. It's a prep for your blush. It's also a really pretty lip color. So it does more than one thing, but Demi, it may give you the look you prefer, and that might be enough for you. So there you go. All right, let's do brows because they're brows. I keep mine in a little palette. People get very upset about this palette, and I'm sorry. They don't sell these anymore, but a Demi palette 6 is only this much bigger, so you could keep one of these in it, and that could be your eyeshadow palette or eyebrow palette. Boom. There you go. Brow wax. I use Trust and Oak together, and then you could keep one of these in there. So this is a really good option since these aren't available. It's a Demi palette 6, which essentially is a palette 3. This is a palette 2. Just gonna say, if it's bugging you. I like using these just to even do eyeshadow because you can get all up in your business. And it holds one of these. So it is also a really good eyeshadow palette. All right, we're going in with the line brush. There it is. Nice. Give yourself a little comb. I'm gonna give ourselves a little comb, and then I'm gonna use this little guy, and I'm gonna go into Trust first, tap off the excess for fallout, and I start on this inner bottom corner, and I go up and over. Boom. Up and over, and I just outline the bottom. And then I heard thin brows are coming back. What are we gonna do about that? Because I'm not okay with it. All right, I worked really hard to get this bushy brow. Anyway, all right, going about 1/4 of the way in, and I outline the top. Don't worry if you got one of those, it gets worked out, but we're just getting the outline going, and we just outline it, and there you go. I'm gonna grab a little more Trust, tap it off, and I'm gonna go to this front corner and just flick up. So we have a base outline. I like this to not be quite as defined because I don't want to block on my face. And then I'm just going to take these lines that I drew on and I'm going to blend them in. So that bottom line gets blended up, and then this top line gets blended down. It fills in the tail, and then I'm going to take where I started, where it ends up being a little dark, and you just push it in like that. Boom, you're done. And then just fill in. If there's any bald spots, I take Oak and I fill those in because it's just a little bit lighter, so it gives a little bit of definition. If you like those hair strokes, get this brush a little wet with some setting spray, tap in, and you can do hair flicks. It's not a big deal to me, so I don't, but it's all up to what you want to do. So again, that bottom line, I have fake eyelashes on and they always get in the way. Up and over. If you ever are wanting to reshape your brows, I recommend drawing them on first in the shape you want, and then just tweezing whatever's outside of that. My goodness, this brow is the hardest one for me. The hardest one. But I'm trying to keep this, I would say short, but no. Flick the front. I usually come on with my brows already done so you don't have to go through the misery of watching me do this. But too bad today. I usually like doing my brows as a separate tutorial so that you can choose to or choose not to. Okay, I have a little bald spot on that other one, so I'm going to go into Oak, and I'm just going to fill it in right there. Look at that. Boom. It's like it wasn't even there. Bam. All right, done. Boom. I don't always use the brow wax. I don't have really wild hairs though, and they're kind of trained. So there's that. Okay, let's do our lips. I did this yesterday, and it was so pretty. I took my cedar and I lined my lips with it. I really liked this. If the cable guy comes early, I'm gonna have to go, by the way. Also, I won't be here for live next week. There will not be Monday Makeup Live. Sorry. All right, going down and up, just like that with my cedar contour. And then I go into Nova. I'm oily, so I don't typically use illuminators on my face because it borders me on greasy, but I do like this because it has a bit of a pigment to it, more so than the rose gold. So it has a little bit of pigment to it, and it makes this really pretty, if you like a good brown neutral lip, this is so pretty, and it doesn't make that tacky frostiness. You know how there's that tacky frostiness? I don't know. But you could do this with your Bella, you could do this with your High Tide maybe, but your contour, whatever your contour is, mix it with Nova. Isn't that pretty? As a nice brown, like this would be great for a latte. I'm gonna do the latte look. I just haven't done it yet. And today I want to look like, I want my hair done for it. I don't know why, I just feel like I have to. So let's pop on a really neutral eyeshadow. I'm gonna take, oh, I said I was gonna do that Claire Oaken Drift. Okay, so we're gonna do whatever primer you like. Too Faced was always my favorite before Seint. I know Unique, I think it is, or Singens, or whatever the heck it is, they have a really good one. I have a friend, and I tell her all the time to stop doing this, but she sleeps in her makeup, and she wears her eyeshadow for 3 days. She may wash her face at some point, but her eyeshadow she leaves on, and it stays darn good. I hope she's not sleeping in her makeup 2 nights in a row, but she might. She might. Bad idea. Okay. All right, let's do the Claire Oaken Drift. So this is how I do it. You could do whatever you want, but I'm going to show it kind of in phases. Oak is a cool tone that's just so pretty. So I'm using the eyeshadow brush. I'm just cleaning it off. If you ever want to clean yours, like these need to be clean, that's why they're not in a palette. Dawn dish soap and lukewarm water, because you can see the dirt, and it does, yeah, you want to clean them every once in a while. So Dawn dish soap and lukewarm water will do the trick. You don't need to do anything fancy. Okay, so I'm going to take Drift first. There's Drift, there is Sabrina, and then there is, what the dickens is it? There's Sabrina, what is it called? Rome, good Lord. And they're all good. I just like the formula. I think Drift is just a bit softer, but it's a champagne shimmer. We're gonna take that fluffy and we're gonna swirl it around. And then I'm gonna pop it up here on my brow bone. It's not a color. It's just this really pretty champagne shimmer. If you have, I have a friend, and she has those hooded eyes that have so much real estate, and they're beautiful. And I had a gal this weekend that I did her makeup, and she has the same style hooded eyes, and she doesn't like eyeshadow. I just took Drift and just put it on there. And then you could also take it, if you like a highlighter, you can pop it on and use it as a highlighter, and it's a double whammy. Look at how pretty that is. Now I have to do the other side, and I said I wasn't gonna do this. Look what you guys make me do. All right, so Drift. Drift is my favorite, but if you have Sabrina or you have Rome, those will work. Don't go buy another one. Although once you get Drift, you'll stop using the others. They just weren't around all at the same time. Drift is new-ish. Okay, now we're gonna go into Claire. It is a matte. It is the matte and Oak are matte. All right, let's dig in. So here is Claire. So the way I like to do it is I put it on the brush, tap it off, obviously, and we are going to put this on the lid. And it's just this really pretty pink. Look at how pretty that is. And then I push it up into the crease, and then I build it up and out. So it's like it's doubling as a lid color, but also as a transition color. And I like this because this, you could stop here. You could add an eyeliner and you could be done. This is so pretty. It's nice and cool toned. It's very well pigmented because we have 2 other pinks. There is Paris, which is more of a bright pink. Let's swatch all the pinks together, and then there's Mama. And Mama is very light. I like Mama, it's a good base. So here's Mama, very light. It's very light. And then we have Paris, where is it? There we go, Paris, super light and more bright pink, okay? And then we've got Claire, fingers if I use, And then we have Claire, which is more cool toned and pretty. And look at that. That's what the 3 pinks are. So pick your poison. I like Claire because it has a bit more pigment to it for something like this, but look at how lovely that is. It's not like when I swatch it with the other ones, it's like that's a lot of pink, but it's really not that bad. All right, taking it, and I'm going to put that on the lid again. I love it on the lid. And then we're going to add a little bit of drift out there or in there after this is all done. And then I just pull this up and out. If you want your eyes to look like there's some lift without going to see a doctor, take that eyeshadow and just pop it up here and leave a space between the brow bone and the corner of your eye. It's pretty. I'll show you with Oak. I'll do 2 different styles. Okay, so Oak, it's a nice, cool, neutral brown. It's a great eyeshadow color for your brows. So again, I use it to fill in, but I could easily use this if you want it to be two-tone, just get it a little bit wet. It's good. I like it. I will say this is one that I've had to rebuy because I do like it so much. All right, we are going to take the fluffy end and I am going to push this on the outside right here and just deepen above the crease, just the bottom of that brow bone, and then rest your face so you can see where it's hitting. I'm going to switch to the small end and I'm just going to pull this up and I'm just going to rest my, you want to see the color. If you have hooded eyes, you really need to rest and check. Rest and check. And so you just pull that in, pull that down, and just bring that to the lash line. Using the smaller end is a little bit more, it's a lot more dense. So you're going to pick up more product. And you can put this, do just a greater than, less than, like that. And then I will grab a little more, tap off, and we're going to go down here and we're going to smoke it out a little bit. I don't like my makeup without it smoked out. Okay, you like the Claire. Thanks for showing the look. Yes, got Botox and my eyes got lifted a bit. I've heard that. I'm scared. I'm real. I had a friend, she's like, I touched my Botox and now my eye droops. I'm like, what? Scared me. All right, I'm going to do the other eye, a different, it'll end this way, but I'm going to show the difference. So if you have hooded eyes and you want to give your eye a little bit of lift, take some of that Oak, and then you're going to stay just up here and just pull it out. And it can give you some lift. And just pull it straight out and just like that. And it can give you a little bit more lift. So this eye has a bit more lift and this eye, it just feels more uniformed. It's whatever you want of your makeup. And then of course, I'm gonna always smoke out at the bottom like that. But you could easily just keep this right here, build it up to where you want it, but keep it pulled out straight and don't attach. And it just gives it a little more lift and gives you 2 very different styles of an eye. But I'm gonna make them match. So I'm gonna pull this down now. Bringing that down. And then if you wanna add, you just add. And then I connect right here. Boom, boom, boom. We're gonna grab a little bit more of drift with the small end of the brush. And I'm gonna put that right here on the corner, not on the outer. Does that make sense? Not out here. I don't like it right there, especially for maturing lids. And I have maturing lids. They're not mature. It's okay. They're definitely not 20. And so I just add it right here. I feel like it gets a little gunky with the maturity I have right there. That's all. I am going to take my Stila Stay All Day. I'm going to get a little mirror and I'm going to add a little tiny wing. I'm going to do my little eyelash trick. I'm just going to take, I like using liquid liner over using a pencil or eyeshadow because of transfer. And so I just add a line from my lashes to my inner corner. This just gives you a little definition, gives you illusion that your lashes have extended. It's nice. I'm staying above the waterline. It's a little something extra that to me, it just makes a difference in the definition of my eye. And then I just grab from over here and I just create the tiniest wing. I go 1/4 of the way in and then I connect it and I keep it so small. So small, I want to lift it a little bit though. There, lifting it a little bit and then 1/4 of the way in I do this because, again, I have maturing eyes. Hold on. And if I go all the way across, it's going to close them. So I leave that middle part blank. Your eyelashes, your mascara, whatever you're doing is already going to give that. It looks like I've got a full eye of eyeliner. And I don't. It's just the outside and just that inner line. Okay? Can you wear a face mask for a bit? What do you mean? I will be wearing a face mask. I don't really do anything where I have to wear a face mask. But if somebody needs to wear a face mask, I would recommend doing the Urban Decay All Nighter with, yikes, the Urban Decay All Nighter pressed setting powder. This is something that my nurses and my teachers all used and loved during the masking time when everybody was heavily masking. This is what I recommended to help with transfer. I like this. If you're looking for an alternative to vanilla dust, this is great. You can even go in, I've seen other people do this, where they go in and they pop out this tin and they put it in their compact. So it's magnetic, it's metal, so you can take this out and pop it into your compact. It takes up a lot more room, probably about 4 tins, but that is an option you could do. I obviously like it. I got this after I was already using Seint, so I do actually use it, and it is nice. There is a little bit of a tint to it. Okay. Do you have a blue face mask? You're confusing me. No. But, all right, so, oops, my brushes are stuck in my compact. There we go. All right, so I'm going to set my face. I'm going to use, okay, the liner trick. You tried it the other day, and yes, I just really recommend doing it with a liquid, not a powder, and not the pencil. I don't get expensive eyeliner pencils. I just use the Maybelline Tattoo Studio. I really like it. It does have a bit of transfer. So when I waterline with it, when I waterline, I start on the outside and I only do the outer half. I don't go anywhere else with it, just the outer half. And if I do the bottom, I hit the waterline and I only do about 1/4, and that's it. Just like that. I just do an outer 1/4, and it's not crazy, it's not scary, and then you can easily just smoke it out with your finger, pull it down onto your lash line, and it's not a big deal. It's not bad, and it doesn't close your eye. I really try to stay away from eyeliner in the middle. All right, setting spray. Urban Decay, spray your face. If you're oily, setting powder, you're gonna need it with you. I know nobody wants to have to touch up their makeup ever, but it's makeup, not magic, okay? So take some of that powder while your face is still wet. Start out here and then bring it in. Bringing it in. And it'll still have, I like our vanilla dust a lot. I think it's actually comparable to this stuff. And I think this one does pack a bit more punch. So if you're wearing a mask still, then I recommend that one. And that's what I recommended to everybody. But if you have oily skin, and then when you think your brush is empty, go and do your under eye if you must. If you must. I think you can easily get away with using the balm and getting the same result. I don't get oily on my under eyes, but I do right here, and I do right in this area. So around the nose, the smile line, the pores, that's where I get oily. Sometimes all I need to do is come get this brush, and I just go over my face with nothing on it, and it just resets everything really super nice. But this is almost a latte look. It's almost a latte look, but that's it. That's my face. And I talk a lot, so I'm sorry this one was really long today. I really didn't mean for it to be. I think I just got super chatty with myself, and that's just the way it goes. Sometimes that's just how it goes. But how do I have, look at how bad I am. I have 3 waiting to, like, this is how lazy I am. That's how lazy I am. All right, but that's my face. And I should have a cable guy here to reapply some cords that got ripped off the house. And that's it. So message me if you want to try something. Message me if you have questions. Comments do disappear after the live. So if you have questions you need answered, pop them in after so I can see them. Otherwise they will disappear. And that's why I read everything out loud. All right. That's it. Happy Monday. Thanks for joining me. Have a great day.